Your girlfriend's on the go again, as usual. I realize that this is not a metaphor. Like, this is, or yeah, it's not a metaphor. It's real life. Like, I really be all over the place and going to this place, going to that place. Like, I really, at one point this week, or no, it was last week, I was like, should we do like a ride sharing service? Because I was just outside. So, one of the things that's been on my heart, well, not really on my heart, but it's been on my mind for a minute, is talking about blended families and baby mamas. So first, I want to address single women without kids who are interested in dating and kind of not interested in dating guys with children. Like, we're in 2023. At this point, it's kind of like expected a little bit. I think it's almost like meeting someone who doesn't have kids, like that's a woman, but it's not that rare. They still exist. And some of them are like mid 30s, early 40s, and they've just been selective like all their life. They just see all the bull, they see all the drama, they're just careful. And some guys are just like, okay, they're one kid in, whatever. I get the fear of not wanting to be with someone who has kids because you don't want to deal with the baby mama drama, and or you're one of those like, I want my first kid to be his first kid, which is totally understandable as well. But sometimes it's unrealistic. I mean, especially if he's cute, he's fine. Like, somebody's definitely gotten a package out of them. Package as in kid. So I wanted to talk from my perspective of being in a blended family. It's not all bad. Like, so I don't want to like discourage you. I realized in trying to record this about like 3 times that it got like really like heavy on the drama that I've dealt with in being in a blended family because I'm a Cancer. And so a part of me was like, let me meet the mom of my husband's kids and, you know, let us sit down, let us have a kumbaya, and let me learn her and what she expects out of this new family and the new dynamic of me being the wife and, you know, her as a baby mama, like, you know, and it didn't happen. Like, my ideal idea of what a blended family should look like and what it could look like did not happen because she's just like not mature. And I don't think she took my position as a wife seriously. So there's that element. But for the most part, we're really barely blended. Like, I don't have my stepkids as often as I would like to. And that's because she's muy difícil. So that's very difficult in English from Spanish. And so it is what it is. But I don't want to discourage single women that don't have children from meeting their happily ever after because they have children. Like, it's okay. Now, how many children? That's your portion. If you're okay with the 4 or 5 of them, you know, okay. But I'm really like, okay, he has 1 kid, he has 2 kids, like from the same person, it gets less problematic. Now, I mean, I've never met a guy who had multiple baby moms and didn't have like issues. Doesn't mean that doesn't exist. I mean, he could just be like that well where, you know, he's had the discussions, the critical conversations, the hard conversations, and they kind of know their place. He knows their place, and they're just co-parenting, and it works out. And that's ideal. But oftentimes, it's the baby mom that's bitter, the baby mom that's not moved on yet. She still has unresolved feelings. There's situations, and there's still things that, you know, are becoming challenges, or they're challenging in him moving on and finding like a better girl. No shade. So yeah, I think that was like really important to just encourage, you know, some girls that are just like, I'd rather not. And it's like, you could be missing out on something quite epic because he has a couple suitcases. Like, it's light baggage. Like, hopefully it's light baggage. I'll probably have to part 2, part 3 this because there's element of the kids and how they treat you and how you get along with them. Some people, if you don't vibe with the kids, like, they're not willing to like go forward. And, you know, that's their prerogative. And it's your prerogative too. Like, you have all the power. I feel like women who are single and don't have children yet, like, that is just so much power. So much power. Like, you have so much choice. And your preference and sticking to that, no sir, no ma'am, like, I don't want no parts. And yet you also have the privilege of I want to experience this, and I don't have kids of my own, but it's not impossible to fall in love with someone who just, has a couple kids. Like, what's the big deal? But for me, like, yeah, I'm very hopeful that my situation will get better, because, it's all for the sake of the kids for me. Like, I feel like let's be mature adults and come together just for their own happiness. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand what's so hard, but there's women out here, baby moms out here that are like tragically pathetic, and just like their spirit is just completely like broken, and that has nothing to do with you or even me. Like, I can't help you. And so because of that brokenness and because of that bitterness and whatever else is clogging their judgment and their actions from being a better person in life, or being a better mom, or being a better co-parent, it makes this whole blended family thing really difficult. And it makes it very difficult for single women who are seeking that decent relationship, that really good relationship, because they kind of taint it. So I get it. Completely get it. And yeah, such is life. But that was really the word, just to encourage you. I get it if you're just like, hell no. But at the same time, you could be saying hell no to an absolute hell yes. And I don't want you to get so caught up in the baby mom that you miss out. Like, for what? If I gave my husband's baby mom a lot. Like, I ain't gonna do it now because that's free promotion. But I gave her a lot of weight in our relationship, in our marriage. And it was all for like understanding and just having a better overall relationship with the kids. Like, all of us, like, I wanted us to like kumbaya, and it just wasn't working out. And I was mad about it. It was making me very angry. It was making me bitter. Like, I feel like all those evil spirits were just infecting me. And I literally almost destroyed my marriage. Like, literally, for a baby mom. Like, are you joking? Like, what does it have to do with her? Like, ma'am, what? So looking back, I'm like, okay, yeah, I can see where I gave her too much. And one day I hope that we go from barely blended to beautifully blended, and it just works out for everybody. But single girls, don't miss out. Like, it's okay. And it's not impossible, but it's rare for a guy to not have kids if he's older. And I just feel like there has to be a reason, right? Like, there's a reason why you're like 35 and no children. Like, or like if he was married before, that's another thing. That single girls also, like, do you want to be with someone who's a divorcee? Is that right? Yeah. That can be like a lot of components. There's a lot of things to assess. But as far as dating somebody that has kids, think about the amount of kids. Think about the amount of baby moms involved. These things matter. But if they are manageable and it's not negative, it's not something that's like absolutely freaking hell no, and it's a bunch of red flags, I give you absolute permission to enjoy the out of that relationship, because it could be the best thing ever. A lot of judgment might be passed. Like, people are like, why are you talking to him? He has all these kids, girl, Oh, another thing to be, on the alert for is if they don't want to have any more. So let's say you're single, you don't have any kids, you want kids, and then you meet somebody that's absolutely amazing, fantastic, has like one or two, or maybe even three, and is done. That's happened to me as well. Met somebody, great guy, our chemistry was amazing, but he was 2 kids in, and he was like, his relationship was horrible, like absolutely horrible, just a toxic ass person, his baby mom, and he was like, I don't want any more. And I literally had to walk away from that relationship, even though we were really good friends, because I didn't want to compromise what I wanted for myself, because he already had his too. Like, what are you talking about? Come on, guy. Like, that's also not my portion. And it wasn't. So, and he swore he would never. Okay, so he was also married. So that was a thing that he'd never want to do again. So it's like, also, like, make sure that what you want is aligned with where they're at. And if you guys, like, again, have those tough conversations, it can be really tough, especially if they're cute and the chemistry is amazing, and you feel like these questions of what does our future look like? What do you want in the future? Can you see yourself having another kid? Can you see yourself getting married at all? Or again, like, those can be really hard discussions to have, especially early. And I don't know what early is for you. I'm having that kind of conversation day 1, day 2. Some people might wait a week. Some people might wait years. I don't encourage that at all, because the earlier you know, the earlier you can let it go if it doesn't meet your standard. Don't put your life on pause because somebody lived theirs. Like, if theirs was on full go, doesn't mean that yours has to pause because they lived their life. Like, no. Don't get rain on your parade. Like, you can still be great out here. Yeah, okay, I feel like I'm rambling a little bit, but I really want to get that out because I feel like there are women who are like absolutely stubborn and they just will not see past a child or two. And I'm talking about a child. Like, they could walk, they could use the bathroom on their own. Like, I'm not talking about somebody in diapers, because that is still an intimate enough relationship, I feel, with the ex. And if I'm wrong, please, I am so here for constructive criticism and engagement. Like, please give me all the feedback. Like, I want to know, like, if I sound batshit crazy to you, like, let me know. But if I'm making sense, also let me know. I feel like newborn to like 2, 3, no thanks. Like, I'm not, like, are you ready for that? Because not only are you being a girlfriend, but you are almost playing stepmommy. And for why? Like, you're not there, right? That's not, I mean, maybe you are. Maybe you are interested in practicing and seeing how that is. But how about not? Okay, how about not? Like, that's so young, and I feel like almost borderline confusing, because it's like, who's my mommy? Like, you know what I mean? Especially if you're better than the baby mom. Oh, girl, we be better than the baby moms. And they be so mad. They be so bitter. They are just like, I will tell you this. At one point, early on in a relationship, in my marriage, his baby mom was like, oh, the kids want to go to her house all the time. Like, they want to be at you guys' house all the time. They keep saying her name, and I don't want to hear her name anymore. Could you imagine the amount of venom in your soul that you don't want to hear my name come out of your kid's mouth? Like, how sad, right? One time, the oldest was like, I love you. I just can't love you more than my mom. Who's asking for that? Like, that is a lot. That's just my truth. It doesn't have to be yours. Like, at all. Like, I don't even wish that for you because it's devastating. But these are the things that you could come up against in a blended family. On the other side of it, because my side is like, you know, borderline like 75% negative and like 25% amazing. There are blended families that are doing well, and there's conversations, and that is what I can appreciate. I can appreciate a single woman that's childless for now, that's talking to a guy who's already, like, you know, communicated, and the relationship with his child's or children's mom is amicable and it's peaceful, and he ain't worried about her, she ain't worried about him. They have a trust that's established, and there is absolute comfort in, I trust that you're not going to have my kids around a crazy person. You trust that I'm not going to have your kids around a crazy person. Like, that kind of blended family is so ideal. Like, that's the one that you want. So definitely check how his relationship is with the baby mom. Definitely check if the baby mom is, like, mentally well, because that matters. And it will affect your relationship if you are going to embark on the journey of potentially having a blended family, especially if you're better than her, because I'm going to assume that the viewers watching this, you are 10 times better than the baby mom. And if she's so great, then maybe you guys are like equal in your greatness, and I'm cool with that. Like, good, excellent across the board. That's awesome. But we live in Florida, and the heat is making these women go batshit crazy. So for baby moms that are like, or if you have a kid with him later on, no, I have to part 2 this. We part 2 in this. But yes, don't miss out on your blessings because the baby mama want to be better. A lot of bees. But that's what these baby moms are sometimes. A bunch of bees. And I ain't talking about the hive. All right, y'all, this girl's out. I got to go inside. I felt like this was the only quiet time that I had to really get out what I need to get out before I go inside with my kids. If you're a mom, you get it. You get staying in the car. Obviously not to pod, but unless you are podding. But this is my quiet space because I'm about to get in there and it's about to be a zoo fest. So got to get it how you get it. Like Loaded Luck said, you're going to get this work however it comes. All right. This girlfriend is going in the house. Ciao.